Game time tonight, 7 p.m. Miami versus Louisville. This is our last video on this game. 3 keys to victory for the Miami Hurricanes. These are the 3 keys that we're going to talk about that gets the job done for the Miami Hurricanes. I already talked about I already gave my preview and my final score. I think Miami wins this game about 38-10, something like that. I'm looking at a convincing win by the Miami Hurricanes. But of course, there are always keys to victory, and we're going to discuss them right here on this video. Welcome back, everyone, to another edition of Hurricanes Unfiltered, powered by Come On Now, the podcast. I'm your host, Rudy Rodriguez Showmont. Hit the like button, man. Subscribe to this channel and ring that bell, man. I appreciate y'all jumping on board, checking out the content. Definitely leave a comment because those comments are what make us go. The comments and the likes, the engagement, that's what makes it all work, man. And I appreciate y'all continuing to support the channel. Let's jump in on this game, man. Miami Hurricanes are a 13.5-point favorite, ranked number 2 in the country, 5-0, coming off of a bye week. Louisville Cardinals are 4-1. They're coming off of a bye week as well. However, they did come off of a loss against Virginia at home in overtime, 30-27. A game they had a good shot to win and came back in, but didn't get the job done. They've a schedule this year. They've played some lower level teams in comparison to Miami, which has played more of a gauntlet of a schedule. They are 1-1 against the real competition. They beat Pitt after being down 17-0, but then they lost to Virginia after being down. I believe the score was 27-13 in the fourth quarter. Don't quote me. I think it was around there. They were down 2 touchdowns, I believe, in the fourth quarter. Came back, tied the game, and lost in overtime on their home field. The I know in the past I've given my comments on keys to victory, but I think the keys to victory in this game are a little bit different than in previous games. I think the number one key to victory for the Miami Hurricanes in this particular game is to stop the run. It sounds simple, but that's the key because that stopping the run, containing Isaac Brown, the running back for Louisville, that is the largest key to me offensive on the offensive end for Louisville and biggest key for Miami defensively. Stop the run. If you stop the run, you make them one-dimensional, and then it's dinner time, man. It's dinner time. It's appetizer, dinner, and dessert for the defensive line, which is elite. The Hurricanes defense line is so damn good that you give them a statue at quarterback, they're going to be knocking some heads off. It's not like the previous quarterbacks that they've played where those quarterbacks have been more, mobile, get out of the pocket type of players. Miller Moss, the quarterback for Louisville, is really a stationary pocket passer. And if you take away the running game, you take away any thought of play action or anything like that, it makes him a target. It makes him a sitting duck. He has thrown picks. He's thrown 3 pick-sixes from what I believe. He's got 4 picks. He's got 7 touchdowns and 4 interceptions. This offense does pass the ball more than it runs the ball. So they're already prone to passing the football. If you stop that run early, it's going to make them pass the ball even more. It's going to allow plays to be made by the defensive secondary. It's going to allow sacks to come. I expect Miami to have about 5 sacks in this game. I expect Ruben Bain and Hakeem Mesdor to get in the backfield at will. But it all starts with stopping the run. If they stop the run, everything else will come into play. So that's what I would say is the first key, and it's probably the most important key to the game because if the other team can't score, you can't lose. I remember telling my kids when I was coaching soccer, I said, if they don't score, we can't lose. Well, it goes the same in this. I mean, obviously, it's a lot less likely that you're going to hold a college football team to 0 points on a Division I level, but you get the drift. If they don't score, you can't lose. Now, moving into the second key to this game, I think it's really, really important that Miami established some level of a run attack. We saw against Florida State, the Seminoles were able to really slow the Miami rushing game down. They stuffed the box with 8. They went away from their regular defense and they dared Carson Beck to beat them. And he did. And he did it over and over again. And I don't know why people think that he's not able to do this. This guy isn't some willy-nilly garbage can quarterback. He's 29-3 as a starter in college football. He was 24-3 at Georgia, now 5-0 at Miami. But if you get that run game going, you're gonna force Louisville to bring more guys in the box, or maybe they start the game off with guys in the box. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I'm sure at some point they will stuff the box if you have Mark Fletcher and Marty Brown pounding them and the line just pushing these dudes back. So I think establishment of the run is absolutely a necessity because it's going to open up so many other things for the Miami Hurricanes. So I'm looking to see this team establish the running attack, and I think that's an absolute key. And also, it's also important for ball control because Miami's offense isn't the offense of last year. It's not the Cam Ward prolific, aired out type of offense that last year's was. I think we've seen that Mario Cristobal wants to go to a more conservative approach, and he wants to ground and pound people. He wants to be. It's from what my boy over at Cafecito and Kane said. John, he said, "Death by a thousand cuts." He likes to inflict that death by a thousand cuts approach from what I've seen. And I can appreciate it because it hurts a whole lot more. And you just get beaten into submission. It may not create the 63-7 type of game, but it's a 38-10, 42-10, 30, even 35-10, 31-10. But it's a beatdown where you just got absolutely mauled. So I do want to see some level of a run game established in this game. And I think that's of critical importance because I think if they don't establish the run, then it will make Miami more one dimensional. However, I think Miami was pretty one dimensional against Florida State and took care of business rather easily. You can you can turn you can turn swing passes like they can become de facto running plays if you want to be honest. And of course, I think the third thing is to be prepared for the gimmick play. Prepare yourself for the gimmick play. Now, before I get there, I do think Carson Beck is going to have a great game again. I think he's going to air. I think he's going to hit some deep balls again. Carson Beck throws an exceptional deep ball. I don't think people realize how good of a deep ball this guy throws. Every deep ball he threw was pretty much on point. I mean, the first one he threw in the game against FSU to Malachi Tony, it went right through Tony's arms. And I'm not gonna say he dropped the ball. I mean, you can say he dropped the ball, but it went right through his arms. I mean, the way the positioning of the DB was probably made it hard to see, but that was as good a throw as you can make. I mean, it was a perfect throw. And he seems to just drop the ball right into the breadbasket, which is why I want to see him throw the ball down the field some more. But that third thing, critic, is but that third thing of be prepared for gimmick plays, I think that's something that Miami's going to see all season. And Jeff Brom is kind of an offensive coach, and he's in that same Gus Malzahn type of mode. He's going to throw in some wrinkles and some gimmicky plays are probably the only way that teams are going to have a chance to beat Miami or stay with Miami and keep things interesting is to throw in those gimmick plays. And Miami's defense has got to maintain that discipline. That discipline and that assignment football is of critical importance. And I think that's a major component to this game. They're going to see some gimmick plays. Watch out for a throwback. Watch out for a flea flicker. Watch out for a double reverse end around. Watch out for these silly gadgety plays. Stay with your assignments. If you stay with your assignments, you see they tried to run them against Miami with Florida State. Didn't work out too well. Miami's defense has been incredibly disciplined. And as long as they stay with that and keep that discipline, they should be fine. Like I said, I think Miami wins this game 38-10. I think Miami dominates this game. I think this game is probably close to over by halftime, if not by middle of the third quarter. And I want to see them just close the game out in the fourth and keep that foot on their throat. So y'all let me know y'all thoughts in the comments. Again, we will be there tonight passing out lanyards. So be sure to pop me on the shoulder if you see me. If I haven't given you one, I'd love to give you a lanyard. Get on board with this podcast, man. I appreciate y'all's support. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell. This is Hurricanes Unfiltered, powered by Come On Now, the podcast. Come on now.